Sorry, my friends, my video got cut off because I received a phone call. So Lou Finfer, thank you very much for interrupting my conversation here, which maybe is good because I was going on I think like 15 minutes in that last video, so I'm gonna try to speed some things up a little more here. But I was talking about my connection to the education system, and because for so long I was taught that if a student was if somebody can just have the kind of education that I had, that like everything would be fine, that like you would be able to go and be successful and get a good job and provide for your family, and you wouldn't have to work 4 minimum wage jobs, so you could work one job and then be home. And I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe that, because this whole entire system was not built by people of color. It was built by white folks, and it was and white folks and this white savior complex, because we couldn't possibly let people of color make a decision for themselves. We said, no, no, no. We're taking you in because you don't know what you're doing. That's the narrative. And so this system isn't designed for students of color, by students of color, by people of color. And so I don't care how much money you pour into it. At the end of the day, it is a system that is created to funnel people, no matter what color, into the capitalist system, the capitalist economic system. And until we dismantle that, and imagine a new world, a new economy, a new way of living with one another, the education system is still going to perpetuate all the problems that we see today. So until we can create a new system and a new education to prepare people to enter that system, I don't care how much money you funnel into it. It's still gonna advance white people, and it's still going to either force people of color to conform and assimilate and lose all of themselves in that system, or be thrown into prison, like what we're seeing today. So that's institutional. And now interpersonal. This one I'm gonna try to get as real and as vulnerable as I can be, and that's kind of hard in this video, because I'm sitting here in my house by myself with the dog, and I'm gonna feel real vulnerable, and then I'm gonna be like, well, here you go, cyberspace, take this and run with it. But right now, I work with Will as a community organizer here in Brockton, and many of the people I work with, many of them are from Sharon, or from other surrounding towns, and even from Brockton, and they're white. But I also work with many people of color, who are either Haitian or Cape Verdean or African American, or from Asian descent, from all over the place. And in this work, we work to be very conscious of race, and making sure that we represent ourselves, and are very aware of diversity. If we're creating a smaller group of people, we want to make sure that everybody is represented that is part of our community. And I was talking on the phone with Will a couple of weeks, maybe a week or so ago, thinking about some of our leaders. And I had created a small team of all white people. And he was like, I just want to raise this to you. He goes, I don't think you did it on purpose, but also that you should be aware that this team that you built, which was a research team, consists of all white folks, and most of them who don't live in Brockton. And so this connection that only the well-educated white folks could do research, was a very real agitation that sat with me. And why did I make the choices that I made? And so then I started thinking, all right, so how can I quote unquote diversify this group of people? And I started to think of some of our leaders, and so they some of our leaders of color in particular. And I started thinking to myself, and I said to him very real, or very honestly, I was I'm thinking of one of our leaders, and the only reason why I'm thinking of them, and I don't want this to be the only reason, so but what I'm stuck, I don't want the only reason why I'm thinking of them to be because they're a person of color. And he said to me, if that's the only reason why you think this person would be well suited to be on this team, then you don't know them well enough. And my job as an organizer is to know my people well enough, so that I know what to invite them into, so that I know like how I can plug them into a space, and not so that the work can get done, but so we can like unlock, like unleash the power that is within every single one of the people that comes through our doors, right? That comes and sits down for a training, that comes to a meeting, so that like I can remind them that God put the universe right in their heart too, and that they can do whatever it is in that committee to continue to build their power, because they have something to contribute more than just the fact that they make it a little more diverse in that space. And so where I also wrestle with this in my work now is this. I'll be honest about it. I have a tendency to caretake. I do this thing where I'm trying not to make this super shaky. I do this thing where I want to protect people. And I noticed myself doing it like just last night, where we were practicing a training, and we're like training some of our leaders to be able to do the training that Will and I have done. And one of our leaders was just having a hard time with some of the concepts, right? And then they weren't able to prepare beforehand, and I felt myself like wanting to protect them. When Will was kind of like asking tough questions and like doing everything that he would do with me, but when we would prep for these trainings together, I was like, oh no, like I know how hard that is, and I don't want I don't want them to have to go through that. And like almost like making excuses for them, or thinking like, oh, maybe she just doesn't get it yet. Maybe if I like spoon feed this to her and sit down and like make sure we go through it step by step, that she'll get it. If somebody just took the time and taught her. I keep trying not to gender this person. Right? And like I don't do that. I don't do that to white folks that I work with. I don't. I don't do it. And I noticed it like later that night when like another one of our leaders came to practice their part of the training. Like I didn't want to step up to try to caretake them. And so it's this idea, I think, that like the people in my community like aren't educated enough, and that they don't know the people of color in my community. But so I, as a good white person, like need to make sure that like I take care of them, instead of like remind them that they have everything they need within themselves too, and that like it's not gonna hurt them if somebody is drop my notebook, if somebody's hard on them, or if somebody like holds them accountable. And it's not my job to like rescue people of color and like caretake them, and to be this like white savior where I come in and be like, it's okay, you can do this. Somebody like, we all need some encouragement and a pat on the back here and there, but that also doesn't mean that I can't have like expectations for folks, and that if they don't meet them, that like I can be very real about like what things got in the way of that, but also like not make excuses for folks. Like I can let folks like stick up for themselves, ask for what they need, and like advocate for themselves. Like that's not my job here. And that's a very real thing that like I wrestle with, is like advocating, stepping up and like advocating for this person who like one hasn't asked me to do any of that, but I felt myself like trying so hard to do that, and I've done it multiple times with this person in particular. So yeah, I don't know. I think that answers like the interpersonal side of this. Hopefully, like I thank you if you watched both of these videos. I know they're really long, and hopefully like I will be able to stay up on top of this so that they'll be shorter in the future. But if if you're new to hearing about the 52-week challenge, I hope this was like enlightening, and that maybe we can create a 52-week challenge discussion group, or like that we can meet together and talk, because I know some people are all around the country, but maybe local ones, because I think a lot of this stuff is good to get out there, but I would love to talk about it more and wrestle with it with people. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm almost happy I didn't go live, because I would have got interrupted, and that would have been a whole thing. But yeah, thanks for being here, and I wish, if you celebrate Christmas, a Merry Christmas. If not, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, And I hope, one step closer when we get a time to undoing racism with my brother Will. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.